What exactly happened to 37-year-old Tammy Kingry on the morning of September 20th, 2014, when she disappeared without a trace, and where did she go? And these are the questions that many have been asking for the past decade. Despite a thorough investigation as well as some interesting evidence, well, nobody seems to have the answers. And this is one of the most perplexing unsolved cases in South Carolina's recent memory. It is the vanishing of Tammy Kingry. On that crisp, almost fall day, everything started out as it should. All was seemingly right in the world of the Kingrys. And Tammy was happily married to her husband Park. They had been together for more than a decade and had 3 lovely children, so just a very normal all-American family. And Tammy arrived at her nursing job that Saturday at the NHC Healthcare in North Augusta, but something was amiss. And colleagues noted her unusual state of agitation. She seemed annoyed and concerned over her high blood pressure, which she had checked multiple times. Unable to shake off her unease, she then called her husband to come get her because, feeling unwell, she didn't want to drive herself. It seemed strange a bit, being concerned enough about your health to need to leave work, but also leaving a literal hospital surrounded by people that could actually help. Apparently, she just thought she needed some rest, and so once Park and her got home, she changed into her PJs and laid down in bed. And Park knew his wife needed some quiet time, so he took 2 of their sons and left to run errands so they didn't disturb her. When they returned just a few hours later, they found the house locked up and a note inside from Tammy that read, "Gone for a walk, be back soon, love you." And Park noted that Tammy left behind her purse, money, phone, and keys, items she would never leave without, which he immediately recognized as a potential issue. On top of that, Tammy wasn't known to go on walks often, if at all, and not in their neighborhood as it wasn't very pedestrian friendly. And she certainly wouldn't do it within just a few hours of being brought home from work for feeling so ill. The note itself was odd, as again, this was not something she did. Not something most people do nowadays, when they can just send a text or make a call. It's also, though it was confirmed to be her own handwriting, seemed out of character, particularly the affectionate "love you," which felt vaguely final. Like something someone would write if they were going away for a longer period of time than just a simple walk. Also, the house had to be locked from the outside, with the keys that Tammy left inside, so how that happened is just another concerning question with no answer. After Park and his sons thoroughly searched the house and around it, yelling out for Tammy without an answer, by 2 p.m. they had called the police to let them know what was happening. It didn't take long for an intensive search to get underway. Local authorities and volunteers from the neighborhood scoured the area and the woods nearby. They gave search dogs their scent, but they couldn't find any sort of trail to follow. And the search then extended beyond that immediate area, with truck drivers who might have seen something on their routes being asked about her, but there was nothing on that front. Tammy was gone. Investigators now had to piece together what might have happened. In order to do so, they needed to learn more about Tammy, who she was as a person, and what she was dealing with at that moment in time. And of course, they needed to know more about Park. As is often the case with missing persons, if they have a spouse, guilty or not, they're the first ones that need to get checked off the list. And Tammy's life then, as pieced together by investigators, revealed some layers of complexity. As is often the case, we see the surface of people from afar, neighbors, friends, even family members, and things might look good, but everybody's dealing with something in one way, shape, or form. Underneath it all, the Kingrys' seemingly stable life started to show that there were actually some cracks. For one, her marriage to Park was strained. According to Tammy's mother, the couple had grown distant in recent years and had even contemplated divorce. It really was the kids that was the only thing keeping them together. And Tammy's battle with depression was another thing that was ongoing. She took meds for it, and it had even led to her having extramarital affairs, which, as you can imagine, was part of the source of the marital stress. In the days leading up to her disappearance, apparently Tammy's behavior had become a bit erratic as well. She had missed some work, experienced severe insomnia, and confided in her sisters about her physical and emotional distress. As for Park, well, he was legitimately concerned for the well-being of his wife. He worked hard in the searches, traveling as far away as Atlanta to spread the word. On the day his wife went missing, he most definitely was running errands. He was verified to have been seen on several surveillance cameras at different stores with his boys. Multiple witnesses saw him that day too, so he was ruled out as a suspect. Despite passing a lie detector test, rumors and doubts persisted in the community, and maybe he had paid someone off to go take care of his wife, who he had had enough with at this point. And from there, the investigation would go on to take several different turns. Detectives uncovered text messages between Tammy and two local men, but neither seemed connected to her vanishing. There were also conflicting reports about a motorcycle seen in the area, a vehicle Tammy's daughter claimed to have seen her mother on shortly after her disappearance. On that day, her daughter had been at a friend's house nearby playing, and could have sworn that who she saw on that bike was her mom. Authorities considered every angle, from voluntary disappearance to foul play. In the deep woods near the Kingery home, and searchers did go on to discover a disturbing scene. They caught the foul scent of something, and it led them to a makeshift shack, where inside they found gloves and sponges, and the source of the smell, a decaying dog. Some volunteers believe that it may have deliberately been put there to throw off the search parties, that perhaps nearby, buried under the ground, was actually the body of Tammy. The police said they investigated this, and that it had nothing to do with the case, but still, at the very least, it proved there were some people living in the area capable of committing disturbing acts. In the end, though, Tammy was never seen again. And some believe she might have succumbed to her depression, walked out into those woods and just said goodbye in her own time. But it's hard to say for sure. Many think that since the dogs didn't follow into those woods, that most likely that's not where she went. If she had been picked up in a car or on a motorcycle, well, that would explain the lack of a scent to go on, which is why others suspect that she was abducted or even murdered, possibly by someone she knew. A locked house, missing keys, and unexplained note fuel those theories. And Park himself voiced his uncertainties on the whole thing, oscillating between fears of abduction and the possibility of Tammy's mental state driving her to an irreversible decision. And his life, already upended by the disappearance, was further destabilized by a financial strain, forcing him to withdraw a reward he had initially offered for information. While it seems impossible to those who knew her, still another possibility is she chose to leave her life behind, perhaps with another man. The strain on her relationship with her husband and the children. A person in a state of depression can feel like they'll never get out and would see these things as the possible cause. So she may have just chosen what she felt was her only option, go try and live out a completely new life without taking a single piece of her old life with her. Nearly a decade has passed since Tammy Kingery vanished, and her family remains haunted by all the unanswered questions and the persistent thought for closure. Hopefully, someday they'll know for sure, no matter what the truth is. So there was the mysterious disappearance of Tammy Kingery. Thanks for tuning in. If you want more content like this, remember to subscribe and hit the bell so you know when we're posting our new content. It's 3 new episodes every single week. Thanks so much for stopping by. I'll see you soon.